This week on the show, we recap the World Cup. Do we even need a third place game? Plus, we get into a little bit of minor league baseball and some college football non-conference games you won't want to miss. All that and more this week on the Fifth and Goal Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Fifth and Goal Sports Podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Aaron, Josh, and Johnny.
Welcome to the show. Listeners, viewers, thanks for being here, as always. The World Cup, it's over. We put a bow on the World Cup. That's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to get into a little bit of college football at the end because that's where my mind is right now with 40 days left until kickoff. We'll throw some minor league baseball your way, and then who knows what else is happening on the show. But we're excited. Josh, good to see you across the internet because you're in Texas. How are things going for you, my man?
Doing great. Just to warn everybody, I watched The Odyssey on Friday. You're going to see a lot of Odyssey references, but I'm without spoilers, so it's going to be, there's that one time in The Odyssey, and then I won't elaborate.
But Josh, are we talking thumbs up, sideways,
out of
down?
10. What out of 10?
Oh, here's the thing. It's one of those few movies, runtime's 2 hours, 52 minutes, because IMAX...
Okay. If it's
I could have taken another 30 minutes of it.
Ooh, that's the best compliment you could give.
I went in dehydrated on purpose because there's no good spot in a 2 hour, 50-minute movie.
That's just a pro move.
It's road trip rules.
Yes. Wait, as in the bottle as well?
Johnny, I'm the only one driving in a lot of these road trip rules that I'm doing. And so
see, that's problematic because then you hit the quiet part of the movie, but you weren't expecting it, and then you got all
that's also
kinds
the thing.
of problems.
I will say
they go from a battle scene to talking around a campfire, and you are screwed, my friend.
And it's a Christopher Nolan movie, so you can't hear the dialogue anyways.
No. Why are you there for dialogue? I will say, to their credit, probably one of the loudest movies I've heard. I haven't seen it in 70 millimeter IMAX.
It's not necessarily quiet, Josh. I mean, we're not saying that the movies have been quiet. Was the talking, was that loud enough?
It was better than I thought because no one filmed. Okay, I'm gonna nerd out for 2 seconds.
The environment's always loud.
Yeah, sorry. There were multiple times I am convinced Christopher Nolan should do a horror movie. I think he would do it. There were levels of dread in this movie that I experienced that I'm like, I think he can tune it a little bit.
Okay.
Everybody who's like, this isn't faithful to the adaptation. Shut up.
Well, I'll watch it and I'll tell you. I'll recap it on the podcast.
You're going to tell me, listen,
I read it again just this year. So it's fresh.
Listen, he Nolans it, meaning he doesn't, it's a slightly nonlinear timeline.
It's actually not linear in the book.
It's even less linear.
Oh, okay.
Nothing crazy.
Non-linear.
Non-linear.
We can't just say non-linear. We get
non-linear, and you just say for a long time. Yep. So you're going to hear a lot of Odyssey references, but just like that Matt Damon thing, you know.
Yep. Producer Chris popped in for like 0.2 seconds, and I just can only assume he was trying to slap one of us in the face. Johnny, what's going on, man? How are you doing?
I can now pronounce Agamemnon, and I didn't even do it right there.
That was still wrong. That was still wrong.
Aaron, move on.
That was perfect, actually. Still wrong. I am well. Smog
Penelope,
in Ohio.
That's a good one.
What?
That's right. Y'all are too far north.
Yep. Our air looked like had the same healthy quality as the shores of Galveston.
Or Hades in the Odyssey.
There you go, Josh. Very good. It honestly smelled a little sulfuric.
It was bad.
It was pretty bad.
Still kind of foggy out.
Yeah, it had a little yellowish hue. It's not nearly as bad, but it was pretty bad. Archer didn't even want to go outside. I don't know what he could smell being a dog. But other than that, watching soccer, now questioning my existence after the last 6 or 7 weeks and just unsure of what to do. I walked up to my paper bracket in my house today, just out of, out of regularity, out of habit. just ready to write down a score from the night before or something, and it's all done. It's all filled out. I have to get rid of it. So
all your running's
college
done?
football needs to get here quickly.
You don't have to run a day in your life again?
No, I finished that. Yes, the game was early enough yesterday that I finished it yesterday.
Okay.
So no morning run.
That's good. Chris said, as an homage to the movie, he's going to edit this episode non-linearly.
Actually,
So-
that's a great
Excellent.
idea.
That's great. So what we're following has already happened. I don't know what we
Yes.
talked about, but I'm sure it was dumb.
Feed me a
that's
lotus
so
flower
exciting.
and put me on a journey. Let's go.
Ooh.
That's right. Well, I will go linearly in how the World Cup transpired, meaning let's talk about this before we get to the final, which was obviously epic. And we're going to spend some time just kind of debriefing the whole World Cup, in general. Can we talk about this third place game? What chaos and madness. I love the fact that we had the
So
golden boot
great.
up for grabs, and England and France before the game probably just showed up and shook hands and said, hey, it'd be really funny if we just break all of the records and just do whatever the heck we want. And that's what we got, a 6-4 final. Really what they said is, Johnny, you thought you were going to have just a light 5K to wrap up. Joke's on you. Here's 10 more kilometers just to pat your stats. What do you guys make of this? And dare I ask the question, as fun as this was, do we need to do this? Do we need a third place game?
This reinforced that we absolutely need it because it was hilarious.
This is what I think the NFL envisions the ideal situation to be for the Pro Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is because there are some stakes. Pro Bowl, no stakes. It's a whatever you want to call it, an invitational, whatever, an international, an inter-league friendly. There is a purse difference between third and fourth place. Nothing crazy, but it's there. And so you are still playing for something. And there's how much does winning super matter? But in like a healthy way. And so I thought there was a really good balance of just enough stakes to keep it interesting. It's not like, oh, you get to win. It's not like it's a Celebrity Jeopardy episode where it's like, oh, and all of this is going to go to charity. No, you get this money. So you're going to push for it.
And it's the best finish England's had, I believe, since they won the World Cup. And while I think it's one of those things in the moment, you're still so disappointed in losing the semifinal that it's really hard to appreciate. But in time, they will absolutely talk about finishing third in England. So I think it's in the moment type of thing. Everybody's still so disappointed. I mean, that first half, Harry Kane's probably like, dang it, why didn't I decide to play in this game? I could have maybe won the golden boot for the tournament if you had put me in. Instead, Saka scores a hat trick. He was brilliant. Obviously, English. I think my main takeaway from this game is how furious are English fans? Because I actually think they'd be more infuriated by this. Bukayo Saka did not play in that game against Argentina, and he was brilliant and scored a hat trick in this one. I think it just added questions. And then I get to see the final, and I'm like, man, did England screw up? Like, this was a golden opportunity. And I'm not saying they're better than Spain. We don't know. But I think England was more than likely the second best team at this tournament, not just because they beat France in this game, but it was debatable between them and France anyway. And I think England was better equipped potentially to beat Spain than Argentina was stylistically. So I couldn't help but feel like watching the game like, like we probably missed out on the better matchup. Also, I think it would have been fun to see Messi against Mbappe in the third place game, not only battling for the golden boot, but for the all-time scoring record. That would have been kind of fun to see the two of them duke it out in a third place match, but I digress. Mbappe, he has the all-time World Cup goal scoring record now at 22 since Messi didn't score and he got a brace. And people were like, those goals shouldn't count. You're going to make them play the game. They absolutely have to count. Like, I don't want to hear that. If you're going to make them play this game, the game counts. They get a third place medal. Then
there's some measure of risk.
Doesn't.
Yeah, you have to again, you have to reward this. This is why, again, a lot of these invitational style pro games just don't match the level of fun, is because it's all risk and little to no functional reward.
Yeah.
The defense of this was obviously like just non-existent too. It was kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, England up 4-0 at half, and then it felt, if you were watching live, I think every person was thinking that fourth goal is about to come for France, excuse me. Like France is about to have maybe one of the greatest come from behind wins ever in a third place game. Man, it was fun. I feel like people who hated it, like, had decided they were going to hate it before the game.
It's the same.
It was just fun.
People who hated it also thought that Notre Dame was justified. The same people who hated this third place game also thought about the shareholders when small market teams were going far in the NBA playoffs.
Hey, you said, Johnny, England may have been the second best team, but to me, there's a clear second best team. Because Spain
absolutely
waltzes through this tournament, with the exception of one team they could not beat. They beat some of the best teams in the world, but you know who they could not beat? Cape Verde. And Cape Verde, of course, almost knocked off Argentina, so that really gives you, again, maybe second, third best team, but, it's so the list is really simple. It's in no particular order. Spain, well, number one, there's no order for
they're
Spain.
allowed. We'll give them that.
Argentina, France, England, Cape Verde. Top five.
At the bare minimum. At the bare minimum, they're fifth.
Top five.
Yeah.
And I will hear well-reasoned arguments for putting them higher.
I, for once, actually mean that.
I'm sure they will.
Honorifically. In
didn't
jest.
lose. The only team not to lose to the World Cup champ.
Yeah. True. Yep.
That is not a loss you chalk up. That's...
Yeah. I mean, Spain was truly dominant in their own fashion, right?
Yes.
And they controlled this game from start to finish. Well, maybe not finish. The last 10 minutes were a little sketchy, but Spain, this was a Spain soccer game in the championship. Like, they did exactly what they wanted to do. Now, they probably wanted to score more than one goal. They obviously had the second one. It was called offsides by like that much, which I know I'm very American to say this.
Can we get rid of some of those line, though, Aaron? Where do you draw the line, though? You have to have a point of demarcation.
I think the line should be like a hockey offsides. Like, if you have a toe touching the blue line and you're like even stretched out like a first baseman, as long as part of you is behind or at the same level of the defense, you're great. But you could be in front of them, like your left foot could be in front of them, as long as your right foot's there.
But hockey's easier because you have a literal line drawn on the field. I mean, on the ice. Right. So it's
the same. But there's no line, and we still have offsides now.
How thick are you making the offsides line? No, which is what people ask now.
It's still just as thick or thin. Like, the plane's not different. It's just where you're drawing the plane. That's what's different.
All right.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm open to it.
I do understand, because the whole purpose of offsides was not really to take that away. That's not the original intent, is your big toes offsides. Therefore,
you're leaning slightly forward. Like, both of his legs were behind the defender. Right. You know what I mean? Like, anyways, that's my pet peeve.
He had better posture, so
he had better posture. Actually, not true, because you should be leaning forward if you're about to run that direction.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, Spain does win the final. We'll move on to the actual final itself. Of course, you all, I'm sure, watched it, so we don't need to get super into the details on something that you witnessed with your own eyes. But curious your guys' thoughts. I mean, Spain really was dominant throughout this entire tournament, and they really capped it off. Could have been a lot more, should have been a lot more goals than probably just one, considering the looks they had. They just insisted on blasting it right at the keeper, who was very, 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 very good. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I mean, hats off to Spain. This was well deserved.
It was pretty clear early on, barring some crazy Argentina style play, which again looks like the pesos finally didn't get through. That's the official Argentinian currency, is the Argentinian peso. All right, that's not. Look up its value. It's not good. The jokes were that I forget the guy's name, the Argentinian president. did not fly into New York for the final, and the jokes were he couldn't afford the flight.
Dang. Actually, they did report he is very superstitious, so he tried to sit in the exact same place he sat for the last one, wearing the exact same clothes, which I respect.
Dang,
I respect
based.
that.
I'll give him that.
But I mean, I thought
I would say that too if I couldn't afford a flight and said, no, I gotta be in an area.
I think people who call this game boring are, I think that's off. I do think this was one of the least entertaining games of the tournament, which is quite disappointing for how unbelievably competitive this tournament was, with so few blowouts and so many of, these debutante teams and these lower teams really showing class in their matchups, even if they came up short, just pushing favorites to the limit. And I know it was 1-0. Spain's style of play is just not that beautiful to behold. It's not. It's a death by 1,000 cuts. We are going to possess the ball. We're going to be patient, and we're going to wait for our opening. They really lacked finishing quality in this match. I mean, really lacked it. And that's also where a healthy Yamal might make the difference, which is kind of scary to think. This is the team that just won the Euros 2 years ago. They just won the World Cup, and Yamal's not healthy. Like, he came into this tournament, us not knowing really what version of him we are going to get, which means he was never fully there. So what can he do? Because him and Nico Williams are kind of these two guys that's supposed to give Spain this kind of cutting edge in the finishing third of the game. So that said, I thought it was really more of a frustrating game to watch. If you've played soccer, even if you only played like middle school or high school, you've participated in these games where you or the other team is absolutely dominant, can't score, can't get the ball in the back of the net. And it's infuriating. And all of us have experienced that game result going the opposite way. Just one moment. And I felt very sure there's going to be a moment. Argentina's just going to get that one moment, and it's going to be one of the most undeserved World Cup final wins ever. Because, I mean, just a couple stats. Spain had 12 shots on goal, 20 total. Argentina had 2 shots. They weren't on target. Just 2 shots. And those were not in regulation.
No.
So, absolutely dominant. And Argentina made a mess of the game even more so because Spain infuriates you by possessing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Argentina's getting frustrated, and they stop playing soccer 40 minutes into the game. I mean, Fernandez was ridiculous. Paredes was ridiculous. Argentina, the whole tournament, had been doing the whole surrounding the referee every time there's a call they don't like, which I think you should be handing out yellow cards like candy when you do that. Because
I've got an idea. You hold up the yellow card and then you just swivel.
Right.
And just to the whole team.
It's the only way to stop that.
Yeah.
Argentina many times took, there was a time where they took a throw-in. The dude literally took a drink. What happened to the rule about if you take too long, the throw-in goes to the other team? A lot of those rules where the tournament started off enforcing those early on that we really liked, they really lacked in enforcing those rules as the tournament went on. And I think most people really liked those changes. So I, as somebody, if you listen to the podcast, you know I did not want Argentina to win. I'm obviously happy with the result because I think the much better team, the much more deserving team won this game. But I think Argentina should be embarrassed, not just how they acted during the game, but after the game too. You know, that was ridiculous, getting into a brawl after the game and trying to incite stuff when the game's already over. And it just was classless by Argentina.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, I was happy that Spain won as well.
Well, right. And now that Messi is, I'm not going to rule him out, but right, like theoretically he's done playing in World Cups and probably Copa America as well. TBD, I guess.
Yeah, maybe the next Copa, maybe.
Yeah. In any case, now that Argentina loses Messi, you're really going to have to work on fixing your villain perception that you have done to yourself this tournament. Because, I mean, obviously Messi is well loved for the most part, and that's the main attraction. But now you're going to have an Argentina team that still should be really good moving forward. But without him, and still with some of the instigators and players who caused some issues and did get yellow cards or, straight reds at the end of the game, that's going to be interesting to see what their perception is moving forward, because they're not going away. They're still going to be a power they were before Messi was there.
But Aaron, look at a country like Uruguay. Like, that's what I would tell people. Like, people forget that is a country that's won multiple World Cups.
Mm-hmm.
That is a country that, when we were younger, was very, very good. And they were a few breaks away from getting to like a World Cup final themselves. And that's a team that got grouped this World Cup. And they have not looked themselves for the last, you could say, 8 years.
Yeah.
That's not I know it's a much smaller country than Argentina, and I'm not saying Argentina would get there in a hurry. It would be a slow thing, like it's happened to Uruguay. That's not out of the question if they don't reconfigure their identity, as you're saying, not just from a villain standpoint, but structurally. They've been playing basically with 10 defenders, and Messi's going to have a moment of brilliance. That's not a plan. Somehow it felt like it was a great plan in this tournament, but it's not really a strategic plan. And so what are they going to do without that? With still world-class players, what are they going to be able to formulate without that? And it'll be interesting to see. Also, just shout out to Rodri. That dude has been a menace to my Arsenal teams, playing for Man City all these years. And in some ways it was like vindicating to see him do that to everybody else in this tournament. Defensive midfielders don't get a lot of credit very often because they're not usually the ones scoring any of the goals. So it was cool to see him win the golden ball. Like that was very well deserved. A tournament with a lot of stars. Spain was the most well-rounded team. There's not really one point in that field that you're like, oh, there's the weakness. And that's why they won.
Yeah.
To close out our World Cup conversation until 4 years from now, which hurts a little bit inside, let's take a few minutes, reminisce. What were some favorite moments that you all had from this tournament, whether it be watch parties or just the actual games themselves, or, Lawrence, Kansas adopting Algeria. What were some moments that you guys are going to, when we talk about soccer in a couple years, when we're talking about the Euro Cup and we look back and think, oh, okay, how did these European teams do in the World Cup? What are some memories that you guys are going to think of? Because I'll say Algeria and Lawrence, Kansas will be forever in my heart. So good.
I'm going to remember, as far as the host city, being able to, see the Messi bus go by once and go, hey, I know he's in there. And I, for free, got a closer view to Messi than tens of thousands of people got for whatever they were paying for ticket prices. So I didn't see him play soccer, but these guys were far enough away in the stadium, they couldn't see him play soccer either.
Yeah.
Also, if it was the final, we didn't play soccer anyway. It was so cool to be part of a city that was supporting it. I really do think Dallas did a fantastic job of hosting, given the natural limitations of, this is not a soccer town. This is not a public transportation town. This is not a temperate weather town.
Everybody's melting.
Yes, it's a flat, hot concrete jungle where you must drive a vehicle. And they made it work. Even if it was just for a month, they made it work. And it was really, there was a fun energy, even just riding the train downtown, having little random conversations with fellow fans, people from around the world, that type of stuff. I mean, going into a pub and going, oh, Egypt? Yeah, sorry. You were robbed. Like, that's not going to happen again.
Yeah.
So And the fact that we were able to do it, we didn't build anything for it.
Yeah.
We just went, hey, we have AT&T ready to go. If you want it, go for it.
Yep.
I kind of have an on-field memory, like probably favorite game, favorite moment, and then an off-field thing. Off-field, Josh, I fully agree with you. We talk about this all the time. It's one of the reasons all three of us love sports in general, not just soccer. The cool thing about soccer is because it's truly the whole world. Like a lot of times when we talk about, World Series and Super Bowl and, we act like it's the whole world, and baseball a little bit more than American football, but it's not really.
No.
The World Cup is. And it's so cool what you just said, Josh. And for us to get to host to where they're with us right here, and you just have that instant moment of connection with no one you've ever seen or spoken to before is so cool to experience. You have the kindergartners doing the Viking row. Like, there's nothing like it. So absolutely loving that. The Scottish fans, I loved visiting your country this summer, and I'm so sorry your team did not back you, because you guys were amazing. I think the Scottish fans were my favorite fan group. So shout out to the Tartan Army. And then my favorite on-field, it was my favorite game too, even though I didn't even like the outcome. That Argentina-Cape Verde game was a fever dream. Yeah. And Cabral's second goal to draw even with Argentina is probably one of the memories that will just be seared into my mind from this tournament. Similar to Robert Van Persie's Flying Dutchman goal, if you know what I'm talking about, from that South African World Cup on the Dutch's way to the World Cup final. It just, what an incredible, I think it's the goal of the tournament. I think it's the best goal. But, he scores. This is after Argentina goes up 2-1. You think, oh, okay, that was fun while it lasted.
Yeah.
And then that second goal just made you believe again, even if for a brief moment.
I don't.
Siri thought I was talking to Siri. Sorry, editor Chris. But it was just, what a moment, what a fever dream that was. He scores, he runs into the stands to find his girlfriend or wife, and that was just an incredible moment, because that's the team I'll remember. I think even more than Spain from this tournament, and just people getting to learn that country exists.
Yes.
People talk about where it is on a map, sure, but most people didn't know it even existed before the World Cup. And that's such an amazing story. So that's why I love this tournament.
Yeah. Well said. I agree with everything. I enjoyed, it didn't end well, obviously. We talked about that last week, but I enjoyed the games. The US did actually look good.
Yeah. I had fun for 61 seconds.
Yeah. Right. But I got to watch the first knockout game with family, and that was just fun. And I'll also say this too, and like, this is a little bit more narrow, like the overall idea of the world coming together, like that's more enjoyable, like that's more fun, like that's the heart of what this tournament is. But I'll also say, like, in the US, like, you're probably a fan of an NFL team or a college football team or any pro team, and you have a team in this country, probably close by to you, that you despise. And that's what makes sports great as well. But it is unique, and we obviously get this in the Olympics in a major way, which is why I love the Olympics so much as well. When your entire country is united, like, hey, get this, actually the United States for once, like, and that's such a good feeling. And now we all were devastated unitedly, so that sucked. But we were also cheering, and we had these great moments. Like, you took down Paraguay in dominant fashion. Like, I was at a random Reds game because I was stupid and bought tickets before I realized what the World Cup schedule was. But anyways, like, we're literally at the Reds stadium, and they're showing the goals, and everyone's just going nuts because obviously the Reds suck, so there's nothing to cheer about there. So like, that was great. And it was like little moments like that where, and again, it happens in the Olympics. Like, I think Team USA basketball is one of my favorite things every 4 years, because it's like, whoa, this is crazy. And I don't know if I'll ever see that equivalent in soccer. If I don't, whatever. But it's just like having that united, like all these people from coast to coast cheering for the U.S. is so much fun. And you can put away your rivalries for a little bit, get them out in the fall. That's when they're amazing anyways, right? So that's probably one thing I'll take away. That just the enjoyment of everyone kind of living and dying with the same team is pretty special. So, listener, viewer, I hope you also enjoyed the World Cup. Thanks for tuning into all of our episodes we've had about it. I mean, Johnny was making a bunch of videos each group day, so thanks for tuning into those. Thanks for checking out our preview, which a bunch of you did. Really, really appreciate that. So we'll put a bow on the World Cup. Spain is your winner in 2026.
Sometimes the guys make picks based on their vast knowledge of sports. Sometimes they make picks based on vibes.
Josh, why do you like journalism specifically?
It's because it's a concept, and it's like, I don't know. I just think for me, it's like a horse learning how to not only write, not only write and edit, but also like do like some sort of like in-field reporting. And I just like the idea of a horse with a little voice recorder.
Holds a mic up to the other horses.
Either way, they're probably going to be wrong. It's time for Picks of the Week.
Every time I hear that clip, I'm reminded of my inability to make a salient point.
Well, it's time for me to make some new bumpers because those are pretty old. I mean, that's like 2 Kentucky Derbies ago, I think, at this point. So, listener, hold me accountable. Actually, you know what? Do this. Type in the comments, make new bumpers. That'll help engagement for this show, which helps me, but then it also helps me to make a new bumper. Anyways, picks of the week. That's what we're doing. Our current scoreboard is myself with 9 points. Josh is up to 5. Johnny's up to 3. I did blindly, and I mean blindly, picked the correct World Cup champion. I did pick Spain to win it, not just to make the championship, but to win it. I think I had them against England. But in any case, Spain, thank you.
Aaron, I will say this was one of our best predicted tournaments ever. Because you had Spain, first place finish. Josh had Argentina, second place finish. I had England, third place finish.
Yeah.
That's about the best we've ever done. And outside of Josh just hoping and throwing it into the wind that the U.S. would make the final, or even
someone's got to manifest it, or no one will.
Even our opponents we had listed were very good too. So just we usually criticize ourselves, but pat on the back here.
Yeah, Josh, you'll be a madman until you're correct. Then you'll be a genius. I was going to be sarcastic and say, wow, it's almost like we just looked at the FIFA rankings and picked the top 3 teams, but I digress. So,
hey, we know more about soccer now.
Yeah, true.
We don't have that excuse in 4 years, but we had it this time.
None of us picked France.
Yep. That's true. That really makes you think. Jordan Walker wins the home run derby. Loved the new format. I don't know if you guys caught that last Monday, but I thought that was a lot of fun. The clock went away, which basically meant that it was based on swings. I thought going into this that we were just going to see every single batter just take forever and take like a dozen pitches before they finally got the one that they liked. That wasn't really the case. Like, you had a couple moments, but if anything, the moments where they were taking pitches kind of like elevated the tension. This thing was in Philadelphia, so they were booing the heck out of everybody not named Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber. I thought the whole thing was great. I love the new format. There were some people that were critical of the format saying, well, there were like half the number of home runs in total in the home run derby. And I'm like, yeah, but you know what we got to see in each home run? We got to see it go way up in the air and all the way into the stands and get the reactions because the batter didn't have to be ready the second the ball landed to swing again. I thought the format was great.
If you win a lot of home runs, pull up your copy of the show and go nuts.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, which I have done before. Yeah, exactly. So Jordan Walker does win. He actually really was kind of the anti-hero in this one because it was him and Kyle Schwarber, and he came from behind to win it in walk-off fashion. So that was awesome. I thought the whole derby was pretty great. So good job, baseball. We're going to stick with the baseball theme because, well, that's pretty much the only sport happening right now. I mean, there's some exceptions out there. WNBA is rolling right along. There's professional softball. But we're going to stick with baseball. We thought heading into the show, what if we just pick the most random, obscure baseball we could find And that took us to one of our favorite minor league teams, the Albuquerque Isotopes. And they are playing, starting tomorrow, the Round Rock Express. That's the AAA team of the Texas Rangers, I believe, Josh. So right in your neighborhood, both literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Round Rock wins this series 4-2. Why? Because on said MLB The Show a couple years ago, my player was drafted by... Well, I don't remember even who I was drafted by, but all I know is I eventually played for the Round Rock Express in the show. So I'm sure I was terrible and batted like 200, but I'm going to pick the Round Rock Express to beat the Isotopes in this series 4-2.
I have very little memory of the time that I would go to Austin once a year to visit family growing up. I have one specific memory that will never leave my brain, it seems. This may have been probably, oh gosh, I'm too old. I can say 15 years ago. It was me going to the Salt Lick barbecue. North Austin, fantastic. Do it again. And then going to a Round Rock Express game right after. And they had trains. They gave us hats. 5-1.
Round Rock is
nice.
one of those minor league teams that I feel like having a nickname is almost unnecessary because the name of your town already is the nickname. Like, just, you're the Round Rocks, man. Like, you don't need anything else.
You could be the Round Rock Rocks.
Round Rock Rocks is great. So
like the Long Beach State Beach.
That's tough.
Because of that, and in honor of The Simpsons with the Springfield Isotopes, I will go with Albuquerque to win 4-2. So I assume if Albuquerque wins at all, I get this one. I don't know. But
yeah, if they win the series, you definitely win this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need
other
all
result,
the help I can get. Right now,
over.
we're going for lowest score in a season ever.
And maybe highest for me, because I've got 9 points.
9 is a lot.
Episode 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to hang on to that as long as I can.
The guys spent hours scrolling social media, and they found some pretty dumb stuff. Now they want to talk to you about it.
Oh, by the way, I did find there is bowling in Dave & Buster's. Woo. Importantly, it's half off on Wednesdays as of 5 years ago.
That coupon still spends. Let's go.
Good luck. It's time for What We're Following.
Gentlemen, I can start us because I'll tell you, when the U.S. got knocked out of the World Cup, like, I still watched it, still enjoyed it. But my thoughts were, okay, that's done. Let's move on. Let's get this kickball out of here. Let's get some college football in here. I'm being sarcastic. A lot of people use the word kickball just to trigger all the soccer fans, and it works based on the comments. Anyways. So I'm going to run through some of the best non-conference games that are going to take place this college football season. We are 40 days away. So let me just run through a list. This is based on Sports Illustrated, but I'm going to kind of interweave some of my own personal opinions and games that are not listed on this article. Obviously, you have Ohio State at Texas. We talked about this a little bit last week when we were talking about which big games would you rather Ohio State win? Obviously, all of them, but specifically, we talked about that a little bit. So that's obviously a huge game, Ohio State at Texas. 3 years in a row, that one will be played. That same week, week 2, those teams' respective rivals will meet again. Oklahoma travels to Michigan, and that will be a pretty good test of, okay, is Michigan going to be a actual playoff contender in year 1 under Kyle Whittingham? Is Bryce Underwood at quarterback? Is he ready to really turn the page and show why exactly he's being paid whatever $13 million or whatever he's making in NIL? That's going to be a very interesting conversation, because if you remember from when they played in Norman, the answer to that question was a resounding no. He went 9 of 24. Passing was not super pretty. There's obviously some other big ones. Notre Dame at BYU. The Pop-Tarts Bowl that we were robbed of. We get it now in the regular season. Notre Dame does travel to BYU. Very interesting, especially because, Texas Tech should be the favorite in the Big 12, but, we kind of thought that when we thought that Brendan Sorsby was going to be the quarterback. Do we still feel that way about Texas Tech being the front? Well, they're certainly the front runner, but how big of a front runner, and can BYU catch them at all? Will that game decide someone's college football playoff date. Well, if that one doesn't, Miami at Notre Dame certainly could. Notre Dame does not have very many big games on their schedule, but I just mentioned two of them. Another one is when they play SMU. So I just kind of gave you all of Notre Dame's schedule, but the main one is Miami at Notre Dame. Of course, that was the 2025 opener, which Miami won. That helped really. That was one of the main reasons why Miami made the playoff and Notre Dame did not. So that one's also super good. Here's a sneaky one. And I believe this game, this is week 1. It's a neutral site game, so everyone boo neutral site games, because this is apparently the inaugural Music City kickoff, whatever. But it's Louisville versus Ole Miss on a Sunday, week 1. I don't think I have to tell you what's happening week 3, Ole Miss LSU. You know the drama there and how exciting that one is. But Louisville's a very interesting team. Because if there is to be a second team from the ACC making the college football playoff, because we're just kind of assuming Miami will run it back this year. SMU is going to be up there. Clemson is a huge question mark. Florida State's an even bigger question mark. It could be Louisville. If you're a Buckeye fan, you know that apparently, at least according to Ryan Day, Lincoln Kienholz and Julian Sayin were in a quarterback battle last year. And Kienholz is now at Louisville with Jeff Brom, who has a solid history of developing quarterbacks and really getting the most out of them. Louisville does not play Clemson. They don't play Miami. If you have any belief at all in Florida State, Louisville gets them at home. I'm checking the schedule. They get SMU at home. So if you're looking for a dark horse candidate, Louisville could be the team in the ACC. And if they can somehow beat Ole Miss with Trinidad Chambliss back at quarterback, wow, what a statement that would be. And then my final one that I have to mention will be the final game of the regular season. And it is a non-conference game, even though they're conference opponents. It's Army versus Navy. It's a non-conference game. It's a whole thing. The other whole thing about this is that the conference championship game of the American Conference is played the week before. The best odds team to win the American right now is Navy. I expect Army to also be very good. Mm-hmm. Is there a scenario in which you get an Army-Navy game in the conference championship that arguably means less to both of these schools, and then the actual Army-Navy game from MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, New York Stadium. I apologize.
That'll be a joke that goes on forever.
Yeah,
it will. What
Aaron,
kind of world
That's
the
only way that two conference opponents can actually play each other in a conference matchup is in the championship game of said conference.
Yes.
Hopefully you followed all of that.
Yes,
that's the only way, because they'll
Beautiful.
never play each other in a conference game, even though they play each other every year.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable rivalry. There's also just, I'll say this, maybe this wild dream scenario, which is it a dream scenario? Do we want Army Navy and then Army Navy again?
I do.
Maybe on a one-off, yes.
Yeah.
But remember
once,
in 2024, Army's first year in the American Conference after a long stretch being independent, they had dabbled in the Conference USA in the early 2000s. It did not go well. But in 2024, their first year in the American Conference, they ran the table in conference play. They won the conference championship. But while they were trying to battle Tulane in the conference championship, Navy was sitting there with a bye week waiting for Army. And who won that game? Navy. So it's one of those things, like, let's say Navy makes the conference championship this year. Army has the bye week. Like, will that negatively impact Navy, even though, like, are we talking about Navy making the college football playoff?
Exactly.
Because
that's the funniest part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
They could already be in the playoff and then lose.
Yep. It is wild. So as if you needed any more reason to watch Army Navy, which hopefully you didn't, the extenuating circumstances for this game are a lot of fun, or could be a lot of fun. So that's my list, guys. That's my non-conference games to watch. There are many more out there. Some group of 5 teams, like Memphis plays both UNLV and Boise State on the road. So like there's a whole dynamic there of like, which conference will make that group of 6 spot. So I could go on, and I will throughout the next few days and weeks on this show especially. But that's my little college football blurb for this evening as we continue the countdown until kickoff in week 0.
I'm glad we're talking about the Texas Rangers in a roundabout way. Texas Rangers are trying to continue to reach out to fans. Obviously, they've not really done much since winning the World Series. One classic, you go all in on 1 year and it worked out great.
I would love to experience that, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, I would love to.
I know it's been hard. It's been hard being a fan for the past 2 years. It's been like a really the type of just hardship that Boston and LA teams have.
Yep.
There are kindergartners who do not remember the World Series. But in lieu of getting a more fun team mid-season, what the Rangers have decided to do is switch to a different streaming service for their games. Yep. That's what will bring the kids in. They're going to go from Victory Plus. Victory Plus famously is what that's the, oh gosh, not Try Guys. It's the guys at A&M. Dude Perfect. It's Dude Perfect's streaming service. It's co-founded, co-invested by the Dude Perfect people. It's what the Stars use. And I used it. It works pretty well. Victory Plus, that's a normal name. They're moving to Buzzer, but it's BZZR all caps, like a cool startup would be. It's a buzzer, like a buzzer beat. You see it? Okay, so effective immediately. Yeah, everyone pause. Okay, the laughter has subsided. Here's the thing that is going to be the biggest change. What have you wanted in a streaming service for sports? Reliability? No. Accessibility? No blackouts? No. An unvetted live chat feature just to the right side of the screen?
No.
Yes, actually.
Oh, no. What could go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? I still haven't been able to get up onto Buzzer to see. I'm seeing unconfirmed reports that they launched this Friday, the 17th. I believe 2 games later, they have turned off that chat feature.
Yeah, it wouldn't take long.
It took
the people monitoring wouldn't be able to delete comments quick enough.
No,
probably.
You can't do that. So I can't confirm that they've shut the live stream off. I just saw one errant TikTok on it, but I would 100% believe it. Now, if you're interested, you just go to Buzzer, BZZR. Ugh. This is my boomer moment. Put a vowel anywhere. Ugh. And I have to pay $25 a month to get the privilege of seeing a bunch of racist 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
This is Xbox Live, but it's just one team. Why am I paying for the Texas Rangers Xbox Live accounts?
Yep.
So, yeah, go online, go to Buzzer. Sorry, that's $25 a month, and you can see the middest baseball.
Yep.
Isn't that neat?
What a time.
Buzzer. It's Buzzer. Literally on Buzzer, bro.
Oh my gosh. That's
as far as it goes.
Absurd.
Go to Buzzer.
They don't vet these through normal people.
No.
Like, just ask an everyday person and they'd tell you, like, this is a terrible idea. Like, terrible idea.
Who made Buzzer.
And while you look up who made Buzzer, Josh, I will just, last thing, and then I'll try not to mention the World Cup ever again. That's not true, but we'll try. If you were interested, I finished the run yesterday, as I mentioned, 346.11 kilometers. Maybe I should Google, like, how far away from here I could get with that. All in one sitting. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it later. But so I'm done. So my broken toe and different things can heal. Actually, my last run, I beat some of my best times somehow. I don't know. Anyway, what I'm actually following is Salt. You're like, oh, is that a movie? Is that like, what is that? No. It's a book. It is a book. It is a world history from the perspective of Salt. And I'm reading this book right now. It is very interesting. I know everybody's rolling their eyes right now, but it is a great book. It is basically about how Salt has dictated history from the early goings. Josh, did you know that the word salary and soldier both originally come from salt? That is the origin. People used to get paid in salt. Many cities exist because they were near salt mines. So it's fascinating. It is by Mark Kulansky, and I think you all should read it. That's all I have to say.
All right.
Salt.
Nice. Action statement. Go read a book.
Yeah, any book. It doesn't have to be about salt.
I mean, that one is the recommendation that Johnny just gave. That's ideal, but action statement, go read a book. And that's an action statement I'm going to have a hard time following, but I can do it. I can read a book. Podcasts count as books, right? By listening to us, does that count? Or if you read the closed captions of this podcast, which I absolutely don't recommend.
That counts.
If you've been on book Twitter, you would know that there has been a massive, massive argument on whether or not ebooks count as reading.
Oh, I'm aware. Yeah.
So I'll punt it to them real quick. Sorry. The director of Buzzer is Rangers minority owner Neil Leibman.
There you go.
Who's also the chairman of Rangers Sports Media and Entertainment Company. And guess what? He isn't part of Victory Plus in any meaningful way. So
neither are we. But you know what? Victory Plus, reach out. We'll host this show exclusively on Victory Plus.
Ooh.
There we go.
They got Josh paid on Buzzer.
I mean, he's on YouTube for free, but you know.
Yeah, but you could pay.
Same thing with Victory Plus. We'll be on YouTube still, but you can pay.
You can pay.
Yeah.
Listen, one of the things about that Buzzer shows on their website of this is a perk why you should move your streaming, your sports broadcasting to Buzzer is you can turn off the official sports like broadcast, and you can turn on your favorite creator who's also a part of Buzzer doing live reacts alongside you. Which is what every Rangers fan wants, is some guy named Tatum with too many Ys doing weird Fortnite emotes every time there's a ground rule double.
Josh, I think this could be great for us. Yeah. I think it could be great. We're excited to be on Victory Plus. I'm just going to go ahead and announce it. We're looking forward to our partnership with Victory Plus. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, before we get too far down that rabbit hole, we're going to wrap up the show here. Guys, thanks for being here. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you all next week. Have a good one. Nope, you're right. That's a good point.
What I missed?
This week, I'm just doing the intro.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
So perfect timing. Sorry,
I should make Johnny do the intro this week. No, it's okay. I've got an idea.